Welcome back, Proppers. This week we'll be making a Warboy from the Road Warrior series, Furiosa. We'll start by making a template on cardstock for the size and shape of the body. Warboys are handpicked at a young age by the guardians of the elevated platform of the Citadel and are indoctrinated as zealots in a cult of V8, with Immortan Joe as their immortal leader. The Warboy characters were based on the Vikings of Scandinavia and the Japanese kamikaze pilots of World War II. They were completely loyal, blindly following their leader, never questioning the morality of his actions. They viewed death in service of Immortan Joe as an honor. Becoming a Warboy was a privilege. The Guardians of the Elevated Platform selected healthy and strong individuals upon their descent into the hordes of the wretched. In deleted scenes of the movie, it's shown that the wretched want their children to be taken atop of the Citadel, seeing it as the only chance for their children to survive. Those requests were more often denied, and in a rather brutal fashion. The entire body section will be cut out of 3 layers of 10mm EVA foam. Upon arriving at the Citadel, children are given new names and become war pups. They are taught to believe in the cult of the V8 and to worship all things mechanical. They become mechanics, revheads, or black thumbs, crafting all kinds of mechanical devices usually involving vehicles and combat. The 3 layers of 10mm EVA foam for the body section are attached with contact cement and then sanded and rounded with my Dremel rotary tool. If the war pups survive long enough, they become war boys. Because of their environment, most of them are plagued by cancer, the most common being lymphomia. They require blood transfusions to prolong their lives, and it's one of the reasons they hunt for unsuspecting wanderers of the wasteland, such as Max. Max's utility as a source of blood is what kept him alive after being captured. Even more important, he is O-type, which is a universal donor. For Warboys, the steering wheel becomes a religious artifact. They do the sign of the V8 engine, and they scarify it on their bodies. The foam body is shaped and formed with my X-Acto knife and Dremel rotary tool. They chrome their teeth because chrome is such a rare thing, so like all cults, this is another cult invented by the Immortan Joe in order to get people to die on his behalf. The Warboys learn to cherish anything mechanical. Their lives are filled with boredom except for an occasional raid or supply run. Armature-wise fish through the legs, arms, and body in order to manipulate it into any form I like. All Warboys have their torso, arms, and heads completely covered in a white powder. It is both a tribute to their reverend leader Immortan Joe, who uses the white powder as a medication, but the white powder is also meant to give the Warboys a skeletal appearance, because they are all essentially on their deathbeds. Foam clay is used to accentuate specific parts of the body. To further accentuate that skeletal look, they also use gray clay pigment around their eyes, mouth, and foreheads. During their downtime, Warboys, weary of their short lifespan, carve or brand mechanical order parts onto themselves, such as engines and pistons. Their mastery of mechanical things and ability to fix them and make them work gave them a feeling of control that they didn't have over their failing bodies. The Warboys' ranking system was based on age and the role that they played. The youngest war pups are painted plain white, whereas the older war pups have black rimmed eyes. There are 2 ranks of Warboys. The lower rank have no markings on their heads. The higher rank has gray pigment. Our Warboy's head is created by wrapping foam clay around one of my plastic nitrogen charges from a Guinness can. Facial features are pressed into the soft foam, and foam clay is used to create all of the finer details. Warboys are indoctrinated into believing that Immortan Joe is their absolute benefactor and savior, and that their mechanical vehicles and the V8 engine is the source of their strength and power. They believe that Immortan Joe is actually immortal, and by loyally serving him, they will be granted entrance through the gates of Valhalla in the afterlife. Another small piece of 10mm EVA foam will be attached to the back of the head along with the neck. The Warboys also believe that once they're in Valhalla, they will make feasts with the gods. Fully aware of their short lifespans, dubbed half-lives, they only care for serving the Immortan Joe to live again in the afterlife. The fine detailings of the hands are carved out with my X-Acto knife and smoothed and rounded with my Drummer rotary tool. The Warboys are utterly willing to die for their cause and will call upon their fellow Warboys to witness their death in combat. They despise the idea of dying soft and prefer to go out in chrome on the Fury Road to Valhalla. Brought up as mechanics, they are only worthy to fix the vehicles until they reach a certain age. Only then will they be allowed to drive and customize their own vehicles. Our little buddy's head and neck is attached to the body with contact cement. Another full body sanding before we start the painting. Their personal attachment to their vehicles are symbolized by their custom steering wheels. Once again, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press that like button. It's the only way to keep this channel moving. Our little buddy is given one coat of white Plasti Dip and one coat of white spray paint. Unbleached titanium is used to give the body some muted flesh tones. Liquitex Mars Black and Titanium White are mixed to give him his grayish face mask. The eye sockets are painted black, and an opening for the mouth is created with my X-Acto knife. The opening for the mouth is painted a muted red, and the eyeballs are created from small pieces of foam clay. The only actual piece of clothing he'll be wearing is his pants, and that will be created from 2mm EVA foam. The Warboys' vehicles serve as chariots capable of reaching Valhalla. The Warboys' history is unknown, where or what era they were founded, as well as how long they stayed in power. They control scarce resources such as water, food, ammunition, and crops that they acquired by unknown means and use these resources to stay in power. They are allied with Gastown and Bullet Farm, extorting resources like gasoline and ammunition. They rarely engage in battle amongst their own, as they are dependent on each other in order to survive. Healthy children are a rarity in the wasteland. For those born with the affliction, signing on with Immortan Joe is the only way to prolong their short, miserable lifespans. This is achieved by regular blood transfusions from quote-unquote blood bags. Blood bags are rare, disease-free slaves that are caught in the wasteland. A Warboy station is represented by its position on the vehicle when riding into battle. This ranges from clinging tentatively to the hood of the car, feeding gasoline into the hood scoops to provide extra horsepower, all the way up to manning the onboard weaponry, and at the pinnacle, the much coveted driver's seat, just like the Immortan Joe. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press that like button. This is the only way we can keep this channel alive. I'm counting on your support. When a Warboy senses his moment in Valhalla approaching, he will chrome himself and ride willingly into his death, taking as many enemies and vehicles with him as he can. The little foam balls for his eyes are painted bright white, and then attached into the sockets with instant glue. To create the skeletal look around his mouth, I'll be using my X-Acto knife and Liquitex Mars Black. All of his pieces of armor, tool, and weapons bags will be created from 2mm EVA foam. Once again, I'd like to urge all of you watching this video to please subscribe to the channel. If all of you watching this video right now subscribe to the channel, I'll be well past the 1,000 mark. And I'll be able to continue bringing you these informative and entertaining videos. The first piece of armor I'll be making is the shoulder protector. The 2mm circle will be hand and heat formed into a cup. Strips of 2mm foam will be used as strapping. In the Warboy Furiosa movie, when Demetrius attempts to incite the Warboys to seize the Citadel from the Immortan Joe, he demonstrates their loyalty and fanaticism by having Demetrius choose one of the assembled Warboys, who then jumps into the biker horde, killing several, simultaneously killing himself as well. With the shoulder protector completed, I get started on the belt and some of his ammo pouches. After that selected Warboy's selfless act, the People Eaters revealed that any one of the assembled 972 Warboys would have done the exact same thing, had they been chosen to do so. The assembled Warboys then forced the biker horde to retreat, after killing many with thunder sticks and hanging hooks. The Warboys' act of spraying their teeth with chrome paint was inspired by the 1981 Oscar-nominated documentary titled Frontline. The documentary follows the career of a Tasmanian-born combat cameraman Neil Davis. During his time in South Vietnam and Cambodia in the late 1960s and the early 1970s, with the bulk of his tool and ammo pouches completed, I get started on his knee pads. They are also constructed from 2mm EVA foam. A quick change of my nasty work mat, and I can get started with the final assembly of this project. Creating the sheath for his hand sword. The hand sword will be cut from a thin piece of cedar wood. The final accessory will be his armband. Which will be attached to his arm using instant glue. And the final weapon will be his thunder stick, which I'll be creating with 3 skewers and a small piece of wooden dowel. The tool and weapons pouches are painted a combination of red oxide, Mars black, silver, and brown. The Warboy's pants are painted battleship gray and his boots Mars black. All of his accessories are then attached to the body using instant glue. Our Warboy's display stand will be created from a 1/4-inch vinyl tile. Small pieces of armature wire will be inserted into his feet for a more secure attachment. To lock him onto the base, instant glue will be used. After the thunder stick is painted, it's attached to his hand with instant glue. And that marks the end of this week's project. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, press the like button, and press the bell notification so you'll be notified when each new video is uploaded. Remember, you can also support me by purchasing the 3 books in my action-adventure series, Inherent Evil, Escaping the Green Abyss, and Mob Life in the Hood. All available on Amazon, Kindle, and Barnes & Noble. I really do appreciate your support, and I'm looking forward to reaching that 1,000 mark, so please subscribe.